Very good. Anyway, being into the live session gives you a greater thing. It's not just it's an interactive session so that you can ask questions and all of us can interact with each other. That's a wonderful, experience rather than just listening to another video or audio kind of a thing. So I invite all of you to please be participative in every Saturday meets so that we'll expand our knowledge. That's the most important thing. And we would like to simplify the things, right? So that's where it is called people management simplified. Dolly, Shaker, everyone are joining now.
You all.
Hi, Varsha. Hi, Shaker.
Hi, sir. Good evening.
Very good evening. I'm still not able to figure out who is SC. S.C.
Yes, somebody
May I
is
know who is this? Shekhar Pal. Hi. Shekhar Pal
Probably
is
Sneha Chinta.
Shekhar Pal. Okay, SC is Shekhar Pal. Huh? No,
No, that's not Shekhar.
that's not Shekhar Pal. Shekhar said hi.
Sneha Chinta.
Could be.
Probably.
Could be. Okay. Even great.
Playing a guess game.
Raghu, you need to come back to enrich once again. I think
For you.
you cannot be away for a long time. You need to join back.
Sure, Ram.
That's wonderful. Great. Thank you. That's a wonderful thing. So personal interactions are more exciting and more questions and all that don't depend on the videos. Anyway, Ram will record the video and give it to us. It's not about that. It is about our interactions and to know from each other. That's more important for us. Great. So with this, the series of people management simplified on this note, I mean, this is the title of it. We're going to talk about one particular topic. Every week we are taking a topic and every Saturday from 9 to 10. This is what we are going to have that. So make yourself available for that. Today's topic is HR policy making and implementation is the topic. So most of us are having a lot of questions, doubts and everything is there. So anyway, I'll moderate the session as I already told you. So great. So Lavanya will coordinate with us she's the co-host right now. So she'll make the people to join or any questions, any technical aspects that you are having for this particular program. You please be in touch with Lavanya. Lavanya will take care of it. So let me be moderate actually. So before getting into that, we need to understand policy making and implementation is a very important part of a HR person, right? So one way or the other, we are going to be affected by we may get a chance actually to make a policy or we are into the part of the implementation. Either of the things that will be there, right? So probably today we might be at the implementation stage and tomorrow we may get into the policy making also. Maybe some amendments, maybe something which is the impact which is creating. Maybe you have to redesign the entire things. So your managements might ask you to do whatever, right? So those things that we are supposed to do. So what is this HR policy is all about, and I would like to give some introduction towards that. Earlier also we did this particular program as a workshop kind of thing we conducted for that, and we are going to give after this with this team we are going to share with all the people. We would like to share that recording also, the video recording is also will share with you, so where you can take care of that. You can see that and you can get a lot of ideas about that. People who already gone through that, well and good. Policy is nothing but the philosophy of the manager. I repeat, policy is nothing but the philosophy of the management. Management has got certain things to do because they are investing and they are coming up with a lot of goals, dreams, and this is how our product or service, this is how it needs to reach. And there are certain kind of a business outputs also they might be taking care of it. Okay. So to run that particular, their actions towards that particular goal, they need to define certain process. Not only the policy contains not only the philosophy, it contains the procedure and the practice part also they'll define in the policy, which is an inherent of it. So that's where policy, procedure and practice, these three things, they'll make it as a one kind of a thing, one document kind of a thing. Policy contains the policy, the philosophy, nothing but your objective will be there. Rest of the things, whatever is there, is of a procedure and the practice. Got it? So entire things we'll call it as a policy. Most of the people ask very, the questions and all. I don't want to get into the questions right now. I'm not creating questions and answering questions, not right now. But I would like to say that HR policy is not one policy. HR will have a different kinds of policies. It needs to make it out. All put together will become a manual for you because it contains the procedure, which is nothing but like a SOP model. So HR can read out, can study that particular policy and they know how to go about it. And from that, you will extract a handbook, which is what an employee needs to do. The employee's roles are there in that particular different situations, like business travel, then your attendance, your leaves, all these things are policies, right? All put together will become a doctrine for you or a chapter for you, out of which what an employee has to do will be taken as a separate aspect of it that can be given as an employee handbook. Okay, employee handbook is an offshoot of HR policies so that they can understand and they can follow whatever their role is. Okay, so HR is supposed to draft those things and they need to keep it very clear, not too cumbersome, and it needs to be simplified and it needs to be brought to the people, right? That is what they are supposed to do. Implementation is where people will prepare the policies. Yes, we do have a policy. It is there on our intranet, or else this is the book that we are having kind of things, right? So it is already there. But what is the use? Unless until if you are taking ad hoc decisions, you are moving according to your convenience on the floor. But still, you have you say that the policy is there with us. So it's not important to have a policy, but it is important to implement the policy. Right or not? So this is where you will get the real kind of a benefit. That's where these days people are talking about, people are talking about what is the dichotomy HR audits will say. So what is the HR audit says about it? I'm sorry. Someone is calling me. Okay. So what is this? This HR policy, HR audit is all about. So the philosophy, whatever that you have kept, and the practice which you are taking, if there is a dichotomy of whatever the practice that we are doing at the ground level and what is that we have kept in the doctrine or a manual or a policy part of it, there's no point in it, right? So we need to, every time we need to see that where we have crossed the, overrated the policy, or where we are, do we need to make an amendments kind of things or not? That's where we need to look into that, right? So this is the HR policy making and the implementation part of it. A small introduction that I have given briefly. Now I'm open for the questions. Whatever the questions are there, you can ask one by one. I'll answer for those things, or anybody who knows about the answers or not, they can also participate and they can also talk to me. Anybody wants to have any kind of a hand raising is one of the reactions. It is there, so you can raise the hand and you can ask me the questions. Okay, all right, open to you. Welcome to the new people, Ravi Shankar, then Katti, SC, right? So these people, I'm welcoming you all for this. Right, please go ahead with your questions. Am I audible?
Yeah, Ram.
Thank you so much.
May I post a question, please?
Please.
Ram, I experienced the situation where HR department was established. There was no established HR department in an organization which had some 500 people working over there at 2 premises. So at that moment, the challenges were the existing superiors, like general managers and kind of managers, were not cooperative, were reluctant to give data. First of all, to create an employee database, such kind of feelings that they have when you start from scratch, right? That was very challenging for us. Please share some light on that.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Raghu. There are still companies where there's no proper HR department, but still managers are managing their own teams, and overall the manager is reporting to somebody. And these is second layer, whatever whomever will call it as a managers, right? Who are not invested, but still they are running the administration of those functions. So those people are taking care. Their own properly whenever they take care of it, each department has its own goals, right? Whenever we're calling it as an organization, that too, the example whatever that you said, it is 500 employees. It's not a small number to manage, right? Each and everybody will have different kinds of whims and fancies. Suppose I think that attendance is not that important. My other fellow colleague who is another department head, who is coming into the, I'll come to that question. I mean, one by one, somebody has posted in the chat box. Okay, so there are different kinds of people who are having different numbers of people whom they have to manage. What happens is these people are managing in their own fashion. So somebody thinks that attendance is not an important. Somebody thinks that attendance is very important because they feel that administration, discipline, and some kind of an organizing is important. Some people are looking only at the some sales people are there. They don't care about the attendance kind of things. What is that you have? In your 1 minute. Achha, Lavanya, you are managing the chats and all. Very good, thank you. So somebody thinks that salespeople, they are there. So they say that, no, we don't require much of the attendance. We are very much result bounded. What is the sales they are bringing matters to us. Whether they come at what time, we don't mind about it. At the end of the day, are they able to get the things or not? See, where the problem will come is whenever there is a collaborative approach that comes to there, that's where we get the problem. As well as an why we are calling it as an organization? Because it needs to be organized. It needs to be managed, right? It has a certain structure. It needs to be proper structures and proper ladders and proper functional and administrative reporting aspects that needs to be there so that the work can flow from top to bottom and the feedback will go from bottom to top. Then organization as a knit, as a whole, goes up actually. So that's where the synergies will work. We are missing on the teamwork part of it. Anybody can work for any kind of a thing. So you can do in your own silos. It's not an outsourcing model. Sales being outsourced, right? Production being outsourced, or marketing being outsourced. HR is outsourced. Anything that you can call it as an outsourcing model, that doesn't work for us. Because independently, if the organizations are making it out, we can run the show. But otherwise, if more number of people are coming under one roof, and people would like to work for that, there is a commonality is required for that, right? That's where HR departments will be identified. They're calling them as a people management stuff, basically. So, I have if suppose an employee has got a problem, who will take care of it? A problem with the manager himself, then who will take care of it? If he is the ultimate authority and there seizes the entire activity part of it, then I don't. So to make such kind of a the enablements part of it, there is a common aspect that needs to be taken care of, right? A support system that needs to be there. That is where HR is becoming the more people who need. You need to get new members. You need to get a new talent. Talent needs to be nurtured. Talent needs to be administered better. Talent needs to be taken care from the statutory and regulatory perspectives. Who will take care of all those things? There's a common body which is required, for which HR is needed. For the reluctance to share the information and all, it is to create the conversations with the people. Tell them that it is the most important and it is helping them. These support services are helping them actually. These are not against or they are not taking away something. हम छीन नहीं ले रहे उनके साथ से. So what is that we are trying? We are enabling the support part of it. That's what we need to make the people to understand. That's where HR people, whatever they do, the communication must be very strong. You need to be an exceptional communicator to communicate well, and you need to articulate well and make the people to understand the purpose of it. We are not failing as an organization. We are failing as an individual to communicate better as a HR. That's the problem. I think, Raghu, is it fine with you or you want to know something about it?
Yes, Ram. Actually, we had to tell them that as you have concluded this, the purpose of collecting the information was conveyed over there. Then they were satisfied. This had happened in Creamstone ice creams.
Okay. Creamstone ice creams. Okay. Great. Yes, Mahesh, please.
Actually, I want to add in that not even in the new organization, but whenever any HR field a job and we enter in the new organization, that current management or current people will always force them to involve in a first way,
Please.
because you have to realize them that they have to realize that the newcomer is not going to take your place. He's he's coming because he's going to support you. So when this kind of feelings will be come in their mind, then they are going to suffer. Because I face in some greenfield projects, some organizations also have exposure that there was no any HR. But when you enter in that organization and when you work for them, when you work for the betterment of the organization, then they will going to support. So it's everywhere.
True. Very true. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your addition for this particular thing. Okay, anyway, somebody has asked about the CMMI level 3. What are the different kinds of policies that needs to be there? Definitely there is a list is there, and companies which are getting into CMMI, what is that they need to do? So CMMI means capability maturity model. I means integrated. There are 5 levels are there. From 3 onwards, there is a certification is there. CMM level 3, level 5. These are all maturity of the organization. Why we need to have? These are all process-based maturity. So who is supposed to, what is the process? Process means people-related process. Let's confine ourselves to CMMI part of it. So HR policies which are required for the CMMI, when we can talk about it, generally it is for the recruitment. It is to the talent, attraction, talent nurturing, or the talent development part of it. And there is a lot of background verification, whatever that we are calling about those things, or any other aspects which you would like to take up as a process, which is important for you. See, understand, any ISOs or any organizations, they are not going to talk about this process must be there or this policy must be there. They don't say that. You define your own process, you follow that diligently. We are going to come and check with those things, and we'll try to audit you. And if you are fitting into that, we would like to take. That is what generally people will say about it. So there is a CMMI. I'll send across the list and what is the CMMI related information are there. Definitely we can discuss, and I'll share to this particular group as a part of this question. But the person who asked this question is not there now.
That's Jyotirmay. She's there.
Achha,
She's having an audio issue.
She's having
an audio issue with her system.
Now I have an audio issue. Right. Thank you, Jyotirmay. And yeah, I got that. No, when the people are giving in a chat box, I can understand that it is a audio related kind of thing. So thank you for changing your name. I'm thinking you're different. So I'll give you the details of those things and I'll share it across to you. But understand that CMMI level 3 is a capability maturity model integrated. Now PCMMI is also there. People's capability maturity model integrated is also there. So it's a separate subject altogether, where organizations need to go and define their processes. How much clarity that you would like to put it across, that much of aspects we can take. So we used to say that we used to have 9 different kinds of policies under the CMMI part when we are venturing into that. We chosen them basically. Okay, so in that, what we have taken is we have taken the recruitment, operational HR operations and administrations part of it, and then we have taken a L&D, the payroll part. So everything, whatever that we are doing within the organization, CNB, right? So those guidelines and everything that we have taken, business travel policy, then we have given a lot of people related anything, how we are going about it, right? Certain companies, what is the CMI expertise? I mean, the people who are, it is an accreditation or you can say certification to a particular thing. People who are having that kind of a chapa, those people will have an idea that it is for the customers to understand that. So this company is going in a very process oriented organization. That's where people can give you the different kinds of projects to you, and it is a mark in the market to get some kind of a, it's like a credibility, a certification kind of a thing, which creates a credibility to the companies and all, and you will get that. So definitely it's a big subject. I'll definitely come back to you. Whatever the information that you require, I'll put it across to this particular team. Separately, we'll send across to you also, Jyotirmay. If you can, email us or through any WhatsApp. Probably you might be coming from the group of HR Satsang, probably.
Yes,
You can
yes.
put across. Yeah, you can give your email ID to. I mean, here in the chat automatically. She can take care of it.
We have her detail. We have her details. No worries.
That's wonderful. We'll share with her. Now, just now she got disconnected.
She's
Subra C. Okay, great. Subra, I think in the HR Satsang I have seen this name. Great. That's wonderful. So, any questions further?
So actually, on behalf of most of the people here and most of the other people that are speaking from outside, I have a question here.
Please.
Being before pandemic, these things were very much different, where people can be managed with the pre-prepared policies and all, and that was been running at because they are those things, because they are able to meet those people, they are able to see the situations and all. But currently the thing is, some of the people they are working from remotes, and some of the people they are working in the floor and all that kind of things are there. Then that in this situation, how do these policies have to be modified so that they can manage the things much better?
Great.
This is to be brought in, right? So how can we restore that?
Fantastic, actually. Your question is really relevant to current situation, Lavanya. Thanks for asking this question. Thing is, it entails that situations would change, right? Occurrences will change, right? Typical, happenings, transactions will change. It might be pandemic, it might be something else, right? Tomorrow something may happen in a different way also, which we don't know actually. Then how to handle this, the policies part of it. See, there is always a room for amending the things. Your goals doesn't change, right? You're instilling discipline as a part of the attendance. The philosophy of the management is generally would be instilling the discipline in the organization, where people will work at the given time, whatever the shift they have been given it to. So they'll full-fledged, they'll work in that, so that number of working hours can be posted very well. That is what is the intent of the attendance policy part of it, so that everybody can get a right kind of a room for the activities and getting completed, so that predictability, output and everything. That doesn't change whether the pandemic is there or not. As an organization, everybody, whether they are contract employees or whoever it is, they need to follow those guidelines, whatever are there. You will be logging into the on-time part of it. So any technical glitch or anything that you would like to make it out, where you have to understand the entire spectrum of that particular situation. The same example, attendance. Earlier times, people used to log in some 15 minutes, 20 minutes here and there when the people are coming in within the grace period part of it. Everybody starts working, they're completing their lunch time, and they're having after that they have their shift completion, or the office working hours will get closed by. So whoever are supposed to complete a day report or whatever it is, this is all common. So physical, instead of happening it physically, it is happening virtually. Right now, the thing is, people are at a home, and work-life balance is a little manageable kind of things and all. Wherever, for whichever the job roles it is flexible, you can give a flexi hours. It's not that no, I would like to work from night 12 to early morning 8 o'clock or something else. You cannot, right? Because you need to interact with other people in the daytime. You cannot choose like weird times or something else. Maybe instead of logging in by 9 o'clock itself, you can log in by 10 o'clock. Instead of logging out by 6 o'clock, you can log out by 7:30 or something else. Or maybe some fluctuations here and there that could be there. Maybe number of working hours also might have changed into that. So make it up clear and make a point that which is a workable in general. It's not that Mahesh will have this kind of feasibility, Lavanya will have this kind of a feasibility, Raghu will have a different kind of a feasibility, Ram will have a different feasibility. So that's where I would like to make the people to log in and all might not work for you. So some kind of a commonality that you need to brought in, And in general also, you need to make it a more profound so that your attendance policy can be amended for the period of till the people are working for the work from home option. Then it works in a better way. Otherwise, that is how you need to amend the policy. You actually, your policy will not change. The ideology will not change, right? Only thing is that the procedural aspects will change, so that actions can be known to the people. Now everybody knows about that new limitations, new parts of it. They can adjust their life related activities and they will continue with those things. Still, people are from the work from home kind of a things and all. Leaves will change, will not change. Leaves can amend actually. Will the entire leaves will go off? No, as it is. Once you are absent from the work, it will be treated as a leave only. Loss of pay will be normal actually. It doesn't change. The situation, whatever is there, as per that, that's what you need to see the number of occurrences and the number of aspects that people are having. They need to make a change towards that. Generally, what happens is because it is an initial kind of thing, earlier we can say for that. But in 2021, we cannot say. It's almost 1 year. Probably we might have seen those number of occurrences, the challenges, what people have gone through. So based on which now we can settle and we can say that if you are working from home during the pandemic situations and all, this is how you need to go for that. Otherwise, every time for everybody, it is a confusion. And everybody wants to take advantage. Employees wants to take advantage. And you cannot say anything about it unless until you change or amend the rule book. Right? So that's where it is the time where you have to see and you have to make the proper case studies of it, understand that particular thing and bring those things with your seniors, discuss with them, find out to formulate certain things, publish it, take their consent and publish it. That works much better. Of course, some here and there, some 5 to 10% of the people will get suffering because of that. But by and large, if the employees are getting right kind of a clarity towards that, go ahead. All right. So that's what we are supposed to do, according to me.
Great.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ram.
Margaret. Hi.
This is Margaret.
Yes.
Yeah, can I ask you a question? Yeah.
Please.
Okay, I wanted to know how can you check the effectiveness of the policies which you have in your organization? The most common is the survey method or the questionnaire method, up to where we can know the effectiveness. But if you are there any other options other than the survey method? And what, other than the survey method, how do you come to know, how do you check the effectiveness of the HR policy you have in your organization? Whether a certain policy is really effective.
Okay.
What are the certain methods we can have actually other than the questionnaire method? Or example, the survey method.
Generally, it is not a questionnaire or any survey kind of a methods. Generally, it won't be there because we are not doing any crowdsourcing or we are not taking the opinions of the people to change these things. Then what is the parameter for the effectiveness to check it out? The occurrences, the deviations. This is what we need to make a note of it and their impact of it, the consequences of those things. What do I mean by this? I mean, what I'm saying is the occurrences of the deviations, what happens is, if the notice period is 2 months for a particular person, how many number of times, or 1 month, or whatever it is, how many number of times that we have deviated from the notice period? How many number of times that management has ad hocly taken off the people and didn't pay for them? So you will see how many number of times that people haven't come on time, how many number of times that red mark has come for the people, how consistently that people are, crossing the limits of it, whatever that we have fixed into, beyond the grace period. How many number of leaves that were been taken? How many number of people have absconded? So how many deviations that were happened from the L&D, learning and development sessions, what were happened actually? So there are many such kind of things. For everything, there is a KPI, key performance indicator. Even for your policies also, there are indicators for you to understand whether it is effective or not. You need to make a note of it as a HR and to see that these many number of people who left without serving the notice period. These many number of times that management has thrown them out without giving any notice pay or something else. These many number of times that people have been taken into the organization without the proper process of the background verification or something else. Right? So that's how you need to see. Every 3 months, it is what we experts will suggest in this. Not only me, many of the HR experts around the world, they'll suggest that every 3 months you check it out. What is the each and every policy, how effectively it is working. You need to see the deviations, not the surveys or something. You cannot do with the surveys, you cannot do the questionnaire methods and all. It is not at all for the policies part of it, the impact kind of thing. What is that you need to take? If you want to conduct any kind of an opinion poll, if you want to understand their requirements or needs of the people, whatever it is, right? Those things that you can do the opinion polls and other things. But for the policies and effectiveness of the policies, surveys are not the right kind of method. Hope I answer your question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your valuable answer. Yeah, it did help a lot.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? Welcome Purvi, Surya, and then Dolly, of course, we have seen. Yeah. William, Ravi Shankar. Great. So any questions related to the HR policy and implementation? Okay, I have something to say. I have a question, of course, because you do not have any question. Hi, Dolly. Yes, you can ask the question. Then I'll come up with my own. Acha,
Ram, I just want to ask, like, and this.
Yes, Margaret.
Yeah, I mean, out of your, like, from your overall experience, organizational experience, have you ever encountered or come across a situation where you have heard from employees saying or commenting, हाँ आपका policy तो कुछ भी रहता है. I mean, HR तो कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है. I mean, they keep on making any policies, damn policies as such. We don't even read about it as such. It's like about the people taking seriousness. It's about the seriousness of the HR policies.
How serious will be people?
Yeah, got your question. I was laughing because it's everybody's experience every time. It's not a new thing. Yes, it happened with me also in my experience. In my 16 years of corporate experience, yes, I got this kind of a damn expressions, what you can call these things. So very well, actually, when, I mean, we address this in a very nice way. We are not in tug of war with the other people. We don't want to pull the ropes. We don't want to, cut the throats also. We don't want to do that. But we wish to say that, see the impact of it. We never talked about that. It is there in the rule book. You need to do like this because it is as per the policy. We never taken hiding behind the policy part of it. Rather, we tried to give such kind of an intent behind it. Very good, fantastic. As a salesperson, you need to give me the best of the results and all. That doesn't mean that you have to come late. I don't need to care for your leaves or attendance or something else. I don't know. You are giving the results. That's fantastic. I'm not saying that you should not give those things. But what is the set forth precedence we are creating in the organization? People are not that matured as you are. People would like to show you as an example and wants to move out. And people doesn't want to give the such kind of things. Then they'll say, obviously, it's your problem. See, that's what I'm saying. It's my problem. So I would like to make you to understand that this is not the culture of the organization. The culture is the common beliefs and the common practices we need to go through that. What happens because of this? So we used to give them, oral counseling, not immediately oral counseling. We used to send across at least the 3 different kinds of messages to the people. So it takes a longer period of time. It is not a over-the-table argument winning kind of thing. So never make it as such. As a HR, we never win into this. Most of us will do the same kind of thing that we will get into a fight more. We'll get into tug of war kind of things. Never do that. We are not meant for that. Do we need to be silent, chupchap? वो जो करते हैं हमको देखना पड़ेगा? No, you need not do like that also. What you need to do is you need to raise the red flag. Talk to them. There are many other ways, Gandhigiri and many other things that are there actually. You need to come on time. Gandhigiri or whatever that you would like to do, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. There are more innovative ways that we need to make the people to understand subtly. Even don't take the name of the, it is as per the policy, immediately people will come for that. They would like to attack the policy, not the intent of it. What is a policy after all? Something which we have written static and kept in the books or not? No, it is an intent. What is it? The policy book is representing whatever your mindset is, whatever his intent is. That is what is the aspect. What is that you need to give a respect? You need to give respect towards that. Like you are respecting the Constitution, not the book of the Constitution. You are not a respect. I mean, you need to respect your national flag. That doesn't mean that a piece of cloth which is having different kinds of colors and some chakra printed in this particular thing. No, it is the intent of the integration of the entire 130 crores of the people over there. That is what is more important, which is a symbol of it. You're respecting that. That is what is the intent of it. It is not a piece of paper. It is not a piece of static information which you have typed in the Word document or kept in the PDF, or you have put it across in the intranet or somewhere else. We are not that. We are respecting the management's philosophy towards that. We all got enrolled towards that particular mission, that particular thought. So we would like to instill that attendance part of it. It is a cohesive, and it is a super excitement, and there is a synergy that comes out of that. That's where the pep will come. That's where the excitement will come. That's where the people will learn from each other and get inspired and motivated, and people will work for that. That is what is required. That is meant. It has been represented by the policy. It's not by the number of rules and all. It is not amicable. The rule is not amicable for me, so that's where I'll hate it. Everybody doesn't understand. I mean, in any of those things, the rules are not that great for them individually. So all of us will say no to it. No. We need to respect in general as a part of this entire thing. Though it is individually, it is not amicable to me. That's okay. This is what when we started, in my experience, when we started working with the people, all right, induction itself we have started. Then slowly these problems has got subsided. Why? What is the intent of it? We used to take a very good amount of time in terms of the induction part of it. Then we used to instill all these things, and whenever the refreshing sessions will happen, small kind of things. So this is called internal branding. We used to have small posters every 2 months, 3 months. We used to change. Not just somebody has to set some kind of a spoken words, and we are taking those Mahatma Gandhiji quotation kind of things, and like customer is the king kind of things. So we are not hanging such kind of things in the office environment. We are hanging what is important for you, what is that you are supposed to do, what is the practice which you need to do so that it becomes a culture of the organization. We used to hang those things. And we took IT support also. We used to put it across as their desktop themes for some times. Not just for at the time of audits. Generally, it will be done at the ISO audits or something else. Then only your quality policy and vision mission kind of things will appear on your.
Yeah, agree. Totally agree. Yeah,
even
very
companies
much
who
right.
are in the same MI people who are ISO certified and all, they get to know about it. Right. So it's not meant for that.
Yeah, true.
It's not meant for that. It is meant for here. That is the importance of the policy. Got it? So try to do it from the induction level itself and encounter it from the beginning itself. This is how the culture of the organization is. It is not that how can you take it for granted?
Yes. But during at the time of, we do cover the policies during the induction. But sometimes people, if they come from a bigger organization and to a mid-sized organization, they also say, "Arey, ye kya policy? Matlab bahar to aisa hota nahi hai." In the other companies, and they start comparing the policies to what the bigger organizations they have. Why this is not there in this company? Why this is not there? Certain aspects of it as such. So even that also you need to handle such type of situations, saying like, yeah, this is the setup what we have, this is the process what we have as such, and this is what we can include in our scope right now.
Definitely. It is a time where senior people will join and they have seen the different kinds of companies, which is a more better options or better thought processes were there where you can include in the organization's policy part of it, and you welcome that. Yes, definitely this seems to be having some kind of a point in that, and let me check with the people, and whenever the right time comes, definitely we'll address these kind of things and we'll think about it and do it sincerely. Then that works much better. This is for your improvement. See, ultimately, it is not about the competition, it is not about the ego kind of a thing, right? It is for the betterment of the organization. People need to move forward. It is not whose idea it is. It is about whether we are moving towards the progress towards the right direction or not is the most important thing. Are we going towards that? Check it.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Rima has thrown a question to me, and I have faced the same problem, but it is from the management side itself. Out of 4 partners, 1 partner never care about the policies and do what he and the rest 3 what he wants actually probably. So and the rest of 3 partners never support me. I mean, they too let him to do what he does, and you stick to the policy. I didn't got that Rima completely.
Actually, it's a managed, like the company where I was used to work 2 years back. We had 4 partners.
Okay.
So it was a startup. So we framed the policy. They have called the person from outside to frame the policy and everything. So out of 4 partner, like 3 is okay with the policy. The 1 partner, he never used to follow any policy. He does whatever he wants. Like if he wants to support some employee, he will support. If he doesn't, he will come to the policies. And if I speak something, he's like, who is the boss? And rest also like, you keep quiet, let him do what he does.
Okay.
So in such case, what we can do, sir?
See, what you can do. That's what is your question, or what they are supposed to do?
As an HR. Because
as a HR, what you are supposed to do? Right.
Yes,
you need to talk about the impact and the consequences of it, Rima. The only thing, the Mool Mantra or the best Vajrayuda or whatever you can call it, the powerful weapon with you is to talk about the consequences and what is the impact it is going to create by that. And you have a still, I mean, you believe it very strongly, firmly that this is not the right way, that this person is making it like this. So you can make a note of it. Write to him, keeping all the other 3 members into this. You need to have guts to do this. When you are worried about your job and other things and all, I mean, you cannot change the things. So the thing is, you have to make it a point, and you need to bring it to the notice as you have brought into him. I mean, brought into 3 people. You need to bring it to that particular person also, right? And definitely change will come, because once the consequences were being understood, because business is more important. If those people are too adamant, and you and I cannot do anything about it, but you have to have you are a suggestion, you are an advisory, right? You are supposed to do your job, your responsibility. Do it.
Sir, I did, but eventually I got an answer. If you are not happy, you put a paper.
Definitely, you put down the paper and come out of it.
I did the same only, sir.
Fantastic job you have done. I appreciate as my student. You have done the best thing actually.
I did the same.
You don't fight for that. Why my job needs to go? I suggested for the company and all. No, don't say that. Right? What I'm saying is, you stand for your things. What happens is, Rima becomes strong.
I did the same.
You need to work towards yourself, and you need to create your own stance very firmly, so that wherever that you go, when the people are so genuine about their business, people will take care of it. Definitely they'll admit that, and they'll listen something about it. Okay, so you look for such kind of, otherwise your entire career go waste into that bloody company. Don't worry about all those things.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You did a right thing, and you're right.
Yes, sir. I didn't feel guilty that I left the job, but of course I was feeling bad, like why you're doing partiality with one employee and you're supporting one. That's what's the reason.
I'll tell you one thing, all of you, don't take it too personal to yourself. You're doing a job, it's a part of life. It is not your entire life. This is the problem with most of the HR people, that they think that their career is their goal, life goal. No, your career is not a life goal. There are umpteen number of, lakhs and crores and billions of companies are out there in the market, and you need only one another job, not this one. one another job. So don't be afraid of it and just get out of those environments and get into it. Not for you have to do it for a right cause. I'm not suggesting for every job. I'm suggesting for not this kind of an example. Adamant and people are not changing. You're feeling that you are wasting your time out here. Then only you have to do. You have to do all your job. I mean, whatever the writing, whatever the HR teacher management, what is advisory, your consequences and the impact analysis, everything that you need to submit and to see. But still people don't want to accept that. And after seeing that also people would like to go for those things. And see to that. Sometimes there is a opinion difference will be there. Right. So I also submitted many of the times about, a Mediclaim for my employees' parents. Right. I know that it is very much attractive point, but they felt that from the cost benefit analysis, they don't want to take it up at that particular year. That's okay. I mean, those things will not put to your cost of your things and all. Why I suggested it is best for the company. Why didn't they invest into this? And because they said that and all, I would like to quit my job. No. And that's not the right kind of thing. So whenever such kind of a very, I can say the worst situations it comes into that, then you need to put on the papers and all. Till then, it is not the right way. Okay, not every time you don't think like that. Got it? Yes. Shekhar, you want to ask some question?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
You're audible.
Yes, sir. So, sir, as of now, we are discussing about the HR policies making and implementation. So, my question is that, does the HR is the sole responsible for making HR policy and the implementation of that policies, or the other leaders are as responsible as HR?
Who is the other HR? Sir?
So the other leaders are as responsible as HR.
Okay.
Other leaders,
right?
Not only HR, other leaders are as.
Got your question. Got your question. Thank you so much. HR is the custodian. HR is the torchbearer. HR is the starter. Torchbearer. He is the person who starts and he coordinates with the people and all. It is the responsibility of the entire HR, not only HR, other people are also stakeholders for this policy implementations. Making part, he takes the making amendments, right? Any procedural aspects and all. That's what we need to do it more coherently more closely with the different departments and all, and try to understand what exactly these people are getting impacted over. Right? Anything that we need to talk to the department heads about the conveniences, the implementation part, challenges in terms of implementation, those things and all. Whenever you are creating such kind of conversations and all, you can take like opinion poll. Last time what Margaret has asked about. So we are not taking the opinion poll for the impact of those things. We are taking the how it is working for them actually. That opinion poll you can take care of it. Impact in the sense, impact can be taken from the consequences and the results whatever that are coming in. That is very apparent. So that's where we need not do any opinion poll. But when it comes to the while we are implementing, how the people are taking it up. So initial aspects, whatever are there, you can sit with the department heads and you can ask them how it is working, what is that is working for you, whatever not. Then you will see. Suppose I give you one example for this. There are people who are coming. It happened with me only. Software developers who are coming very late chronically. So when I go to ask the people, I mean, I'm seeing a very weird and very creepy thing in your department. People are almost everybody are coming late and everybody are doing these kind of things every time. Why it is happening? What do you think? What is missing in that? Rather, it is very good for every other department in all. What is happening with you? They said that they are staying late. I said, why they are staying late? Because they are not able to complete those things. Then ask them to come early and complete those things. No, because of the go live and the different kinds of customer requirements that are there, which we need to fulfill those things, which we need to make it work. Okay, then why things are not happening within the time? What is the time frame that we have taken to give those things? So when we have done that fishbone diagram, why kind of things and all root cause when we went into, it is the problem with the planning itself, with the person whom I am speaking. He is not at all a good planner. Unnecessarily very short period has been committed to customers, and now they are facing the problem. Everybody are staying late, everybody are coming late, everybody are doing a lot of things, and we need to announce a project bonus, we need to announce a special things to complete these works very fast, right? And it is not happening. One time fixing is not happening. Every time they are changing something, a client is reviewing that, and client is reviewing some comment, again we need to change. So like that, the work is going here and there like a tennis ball. It is not getting completed. So it's a planning problem. It is a first time fixing problem. It is about the quality code problem. Code reusage is a problem. People were not being trained. It is not a problem. So we took that particular department itself into incubation first, and we did every bit and piece of those things. Their activities, actually job roles, have been redivided and observed very carefully and diagnosed where the problem is, and we have given some kind of a 9 to 10 suggestions, and then we took them into the training part of it, and then we got those things. So it is not with the attendance problem. See where it has appeared, where the impact has come. Impact has come at the outside of it, right? So that's where these are all the different kinds of issues that we are getting whenever the implementations that we are taking into. That's where the problem is. Got it? So this is a common problem that we are getting, and we as HRs, we are going to take the torch bearing. Those people are also very much equally responsible for implementation of these things. We do conduct in the trainings, we do communicate these things when we are making them managers, when we are refreshing sessions that are happening, when the town hall meetings or a department level meetings, whatever that are happening, actually we used to reiterate the same kind of things. You're also equally responsible, and you are also equally the stakeholders for this implementation of those things. Who is getting affected? Where the problem will come? Who is going to suffer? You as a project manager, you only will suffer, not anybody else, right? So that's where it is your responsibility also to maintain these kind of things and be cooperative to HR. And HR also should be cooperative and supportive and facilitator for them. Make them understand, conduct some kind of a induction sessions, orientation sessions, and what is the impact of it, what is that they are supposed to do, different kinds of cases, different kinds of situation narrations. All these things are very important. Like police वाला drunk and drive में अगर पकड़ लिया तो क्या करते हैं? पहले उसको वीडियोस दिखा देते हैं, drunk and drive करने से कितने एक्सीडेंट्स हुए थे, कैसे हुए थे, and how deadly it would be. So such kind of even such kind of things also, counseling also we need to do for those people who are coming very late. Right? So the impact that we need to show it in different ways. So HR is the custodian, facilitator, right? Torchbearer and all these things. And other people are also equally responsible for implementation of the policies. Other leaders. Hope I answered.
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir, next question is that what is the right way to deal with this situation, sir? I mean, if I take a hypothetical example, suppose a marketing manager is there and he has 3 or 4 marketing executive in his hand. So suppose they are continuously violating the HR policies in this organization, and the leader do not say anything, because if he say something, then the business might be disturbed. Business might not get as he expected. So at that time, as a HR manager, what should we do? Means what is the right way to approach or deal the situations?
Very good. I'll tell you. We said that, I mean, where the problem is coming and why you are not able to say to people. When we asked a marketing manager, if I say strongly, those people will, will leave the things. We said that we are the HR people. See, whom you would like to take. What is the philosophy of the organization? Result orientation is anyways required. Are these 3 or 4 people in the entire world they can run the show? Is it organization is dependent on certain people? By any kind of a reason, if these people will leave, what the organization will do? That's the first question.
Yes.
No, management, the rule is rule for all. Okay, very good. Then you said that. Then we go to the marketing manager, and marketing manager, we are asking him actually. So if these people are not doing that, what do you think is a great thing for them? How do you want us to amend the policy? Tell me.
So first point of interaction, sir, will be with the marketing manager. Then
Okay.
then we will
That's what I'm saying. Marketing manager is also has lifted his hands, and then we'll go to the management, right? To understand what is the philosophy of it. You want to marketing management, marketing department is like this. Do you want to continue with me like this and all? Because I am the facilitator, I need to check with them. If the management says that do whatever is amicable for them, because this business is very important. That's what they said. See, all this is what for we are running for business only, right? Ultimately, if we see,
yes, sir.
set aside some HR kind of things. Don't talk about the rule books and other things. Maybe it's a secondary. So when the business is asking, and when the business is saying that this needs to be like that, and we need to take a cautionary, precautionary step, that we need to talk to management, and we need to say that, hey, management, this is what is happening with the marketing department. What do you want us to do? What do you suggest? I need your suggestion. Then management says that no, rule is rule for all. Then we'll take the entire power of it, and we say that no, boss, this is changing the culture of the organization. We don't want it to happen, and I'm the custodian for the entire organization's culture part of it. So with the consent of the management also, we would like to put it across, and we want an explanation from you. So we can send across the memos to all these people. If they want to leave, let them leave. If they want to get out of the company, ask them to get out of it. I need organization to be strong. I don't want anybody's whims and fancies need to run here, because business is all ours. Everybody are contributing towards that. What is the big thing with you? I'll take another 3 people, 4 people. All right. So this kind of an adamant and guts I can show. If the management says that no, see, anybody who comes into this particular thing, the profession itself, the job itself is like that, and we need to go to the customers and we need to make it out. People are not that bad. People are not that against to the organization kind of things and all. They don't want to go for such kind of things and all. Can we amend something, Ram? Can we find out something? Then we can say that yes, Ram can do something about it. Then we can go to the marketing manager and say that, hey boss, we understood that the economies or the ways that are working for you is something different from other departments and all. Tell me, what do you want me to have? But you need to strictly follow. You people want to come at 11 o'clock? Fantastic. We'll, instead of 9, we'll put it across 11. You want to work for so-and-so a particular time? We will like to put it across. But one thing is you need to ensure is 8 hours of the job as per the labor law. 8 hours of the per day, you need to put it across. So tell me which 8 hours you would like to take. How do you want me to count it? Will you people be responsible for such kind of things? Even in the, we are giving a leverage to go to the clients, and one day you are directly going to the clients, where we are making it as a working day for you. Right? You're not still appearing to the office and everything. A lot of leverages were being given to you. And nobody is having such kind of a bonus, incentives and other things. We made it for you because you people are bringing the business to us. Right? But if anything which is going very wrong, actually, we did it for a client. That's what I'm saying. We changed the policy for them, but we made them to work whatever the things are there for them. So they need to adhere to it. If not option 1, option 2, but you need to adhere to those things. So that is what is the stance that you can talk about it, and you can bring into the new kind of a thing. If anybody questions that, yes, the department requires a different kind of a mechanism altogether. We made it deliberately. It is not. It doesn't work for others, right? So it's not for that. It is only a special purpose and a special this thing that we are making it to them. If they don't bring in this thing, it becomes a problem for us. It is genuinely, it is not happening. It is not that they are asking for their own convenience kind of things and all. They are not asking. They are really putting efforts over there, and they are really bringing the results. So we need to give some kind of an amendment to them. That's what we did. We can convince the other people also, right? So that's how you need to find it out, and somehow the business has to run. You need to be creative, innovative also, and you have to, if required, you have to, erase the borders also. You can change the game. Rules of the game also, you should be able to change that. You are the custodian for that. Right?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Ram.
Hi, Margaret.
Yeah, this is sorry. I won't trouble you much because it's almost the end of the session. Can you throw some or give us some highlights on a very what should be done or formulated to have a very good policy, HR policy? can we have a benchmark, or there's nothing wrong in having the benchmark, right? You follow what the other bigger organization or good organization is having, following the policies or something like that.
Yeah.
With respect to the data gathering, sort of that things.
Okay. So you can follow that. You can copy the, you can be the copycat of a bigger company's policies, but you need to customize it. Don't use it as it is, right? Don't bring that, the shirt which is there on the hanger, just try to wear it for you. It might not fit for you. So you need to customize it. You need to make it tailor-made for you. Okay?
Okay.
So with that, what is the mechanism? I can give you one kind of a framework for you how the policy needs to be. The policy needs to have 4 things, right? One is objective. What is the intent of making this particular policy? Attendance, leave, business travel, or anything, L&D or whatever that you call. For that, you need to have a policy. First thing is objective must be there. Objective needs to talk about the intent of that particular subject or that particular policy which is talking about. Then scope and applicability. Is this applied to all the people, all the sections of the people? That's what you need to mention about it. Only people are in the roles, people are with the roles plus contract plus so and so, whatever the type of engagements that you are having, based on which you need to make it a clarity. Otherwise, the policy might not be applicable for all the people except so and so, except for night shift employees, except for so and so kind of things. So those exceptions and other things, you need to mention about the scope and applicability for those things. People who are in the fields, actually, probably it might not be applied to them. Okay, so that is there. Third thing is you need to have a guidelines how to process. I mean, the process or the procedure part of it. You need to talk about the guidelines, because the policy need to guide them how to move forward. Whoever is using this particular policy need to guide them what is to be done first, step 1, step 2, step 3, or whatever it is, or maybe some guidelines part of it which you need to mention about it. And you need to ensure within the guidelines itself. The fourth is inherently in the third itself is, if you are not able to follow such kind of things, what is the punishment also, you should be able to say that. For first time, if the people couldn't do that in the disciplinary action, memo will be given to them asking for an explanation for that, right? Then second memo, third memo. The fourth one is capital punishment of removing them like that. So you need to mention them if they are not able to follow. And if somebody is not able to go through that, what is the punishment? What is the consequence would be? You should be able to tell about that. Otherwise, people will not get empowered. HR people will never get empowered if the punishment is not being told to them. What is that they need to do? If the people are deviating from the attendance part of it, or people are not intimating about the leaves on time or before or in advance also, then what is that you are supposed to do? You need to guide them. But otherwise, managers don't know what to do. Otherwise, they'll do whatever they wish to. Then again, there's no point in having a policy, because everybody will take their own ad hoc decisions. And whatever they wish to have, they wish to have. No, every organization need to have, I mean, entire organization need to have a similar kind of a consequence, and people must be knowing about it. And no mercy, because your leaves were got exhausted, it is LOP. Because you couldn't, intimated. You are a genuine person. From 3 to 4 years, you might be working on that. But still, you know this rule, right? You are supposed to intimate and take the leave, but you didn't done that particular thing. You didn't got the permission from your manager, and you left for the leave. Actually, I need to take it as a LOP. I'm not saying whatever that the things whatever are there, but still I would like to make it a LOP. Even though you have a leave credit, I would like to make it as a LOP. That's because you know that it is already there in the guideline. So you get an empowerment when it is written over there. So that's where write down the consequences also. So if we are having this kind of a framework, that's the best policy.
Okay, thank you.
Got it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right. So here with this, taking this as a last question, Margaret's question, I'd like to stop it here, but the quest for our knowing doesn't stop. What is that we would like to do is, there is already a video which has been done on this, and we would like to share that video with you. After this particular thing, we would like to share, thanking you all, and we would like to share that video link with you all. You can go through at any given point in time, just make a mark of it and star mark it. And whenever you have a time, please go through that. Still you have a questions, please do put it across on the WhatsApp, right? And I would like to tell you that there is a HR round the clock which we have started with, which is a free HR help desk for everybody. Of course, our students, it is very free. For others also, we made it open very recently. We named it as a HR round the clock, a free help desk, HR help desk. So you can write to that, ask@hrminds.in is what is the mail ID. You can post to that mail ID also, or otherwise you can ask in the WhatsApp also. Any questions further are there, we can discuss about it. Right? Thank you so much. Good night to you all.
Good night.
Let's meet in the next week with another topic.